The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 7th day of November, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House and Lenders. I'm Jamal Hartman, and she's Sancha Durham. Oh, I forgot to say the Daily Hour is brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lenders, and People's Pharmacy. Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. So, Sancha, it's Tuesday. How are you feeling?
Listen, I'm conflicted today. I feel good now. Yesterday was a very heavy day in so many different aspects. Waking up this morning, it's like, okay, yesterday happened, and what do we learn from it? How do we move forward? But I feel good, but we have a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about today. But can before we talk about it, I just want to say, and I want to say, and I hope Sherry, that that Vanderpool lady, I hope she's tuned in, right? She better be watching and listening, because not Maya Palacio, Jamal Hartman said first, Sancha, your lighting this morning is what the lady say? It's on point, girl. Yeah, I'm like, my goodness, look.
I realized I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, I have the daily hour, but I also we do a staff meeting once a month at Nail Bar. And I was like, we end at 9. My staff meeting starts at 9. So I guess we're taking the show on the road. I'm at Nail Bar this morning.
Look, we've got a new studio, folks. We'll be shooting live from Nail Bar going forward, folks. I'm telling you.
The lighting is great.
Yeah, I'll be there too, folks. Don't worry. I'll be getting my feet there while we're talking on air. Oh, not that spot. Yeah, but that'll be me. Good morning to you, traveling Trotty and B. Denise Hollis. Good morning, and Karen Simmons. Good morning to you all, and greetings to everyone. And thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today, as we welcome the Alpha Kappa Alpha sororities, Akira Robinson, on to discuss the women's entrepreneurs vendors market. So looking forward to that conversation. The daily play is a remember when. So we're going to go to our History Channel game to figure out what Sancha may or may not know. All right.
When? Okay.
Folks, if you haven't done our survey yet, please do. Please do. Fill out the survey. We really would love to. I'm going to start calling names. I don't know who's filled it out, by the way, but I'm going to call some names. Charlie, have you filled it out? Karen Simmons, have you filled it out? B. Denise Hollis, have you filled it out? Sherry Vanderpool, have you filled it out? All of them in the comments, so I'm calling your names. But fill it out. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date, and keep doing the work to help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Well, Sherry says, your lighting is lit, Sancha. I mean, why is she using young people language?
Thank you, Cher, girl.
And she's saying, I always notice unlike someone else. Who's she talking about? I noticed first this time.
One this morning, he was like, Sancha. That's why he forgot to do that whole mention of the sponsors and all of that. He was so overwhelmed by this lighting.
Yeah, I was. Okay, well, everybody except Sherry said they filled it out so far. So, yeah. Oh my goodness, Sherry Marie. Okay, that's Madam Marie. Okay. All right, folks. Look, let me just set the tone for today. We obviously had a very heavy conversation yesterday about the throne speech. And I just want to be very clear for whatever the expectations are this morning. What we're not going to do is Maya shared that the police had made an arrest yesterday in the case of the late Marco Warren. We, out of respect for the family and the case, will not be discussing anything relating to it outside of what Maya reports. And so I just want to get that out there. It's a very, serious yet tender situation that I think we all need to be very cautious about and not get caught up in the social media conversations. And so, again, out of respect for those involved, we will not be addressing that. However, what we will be addressing this morning is the behavior of some guests in our beautiful Bermuda. And I think that this, I'm going to use us central. I'm going to use this show. Mm-hmm. There are people who may be uncomfortable with what I may say, how I may say it. And that's okay. There were people many years ago when Teo Dill had his morning show, was on the radio, that didn't like some of the things he said or did. And it may cost you sponsors and advertisers and the like. But when I look at the sponsor list for something like rugby, the kind of companies and the amount of money you believe gets thrown toward that. And this is not new, the behavior of these guests to Bermuda. I just asked myself, is it as simple as being a black person versus a white visitor? Yeah, I'm going there today. Because I don't understand the standards of why white guests can come into Bermuda and behave in any way they want, say what they want, do what they want, and yet hundreds of thousands of dollars continue to get thrown in that direction for the sake of an event. It's disgusting. And then I saw yesterday on the Royal Gazette's Facebook page, they posted a story about it. And I looked at the responses. Oh, we have more serious things to worry about in Bermuda. Why are we worrying about this? And then people responding, are you serious? White Bermudians, it seemed, because I went on Facebook pages, seemed okay with it. We have more serious things to worry about. Whereas the black Bermudians responded, seemed to be like, no, this is an issue. This is criminal behavior. Folks, I've said this to you before. Just because David Byrd is black, or at least by skin color, doesn't mean that because he's messed up as premier or the black government is not delivering for the people, doesn't mean that racism doesn't still exist in Bermuda. Let's be clear about this. The fact that this gentleman was allowed to leave the island, the organizers, the sponsors knew what kind of behavior he displayed, which was criminal. And they allowed him to leave the island. To Bermudas, they said. Question of the morning. What can we learn about the alleged rugby incidents? Because I haven't even spoken about the outright racist behavior that was also reported. I'm just talking about the indecent exposure. What can we learn? Are we selling ourselves to the highest bidder that we're going to allow people to come into our space and treat us any way we want, disrespect our culture? I mean, some years ago, we had some white fellow running across the cricket field streaking, right, up Somerset Cricket Club on our national holiday, though it wasn't known as Mary Prince Day at the time, but it's Emancipation Day. Like, think about this, folks. Have we no pride? Or do we? But we need visitors and cash influx. So we're going to just lay down and take whatever. What can we learn from the incident?
I mean, Jamal, I'm sure you saw my social media. Well, social media for me is WhatsApp status. Yesterday, I was really upset.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said on my social media update,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, for those of you that say that there is not two Bermudas, here is a prime example of it. Jamal, do you really think that, let's say, one of our people from some exempt company, a black man,
Mm-hmm.
got really drunk and decided to get on that bull and take his pants off and get on that bull, he wouldn't have been arrested?
I'm sure he'd be before the courts today.
It was a Friday night. He would have spent the weekend until they were able to put him before a magistrate on Monday morning. It would have been no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, there are definitely two Bermudas. I mean, Jamal, I used to do drumline, and you know the amount of people that we used to bring to Bermuda during drumline. It's 500 university students. So you could imagine the stress that put me under. And at all points, we would have to have meetings to let them know, like, listen, I know you guys are here to have fun. Mm-hmm. The drinking age in Bermuda is a lot less than what it is in the US, but you are also here to represent us. So if you get in any sort of trouble, we have to face, like, it was a level of, this is what we expect. Mm-hmm. With you coming into this country. You're not only representing yourself, but you're representing us. Mm-hmm. And if there were any sort of incidents, you better believe the police were there. They made note of it. They made a report. And it, like, I was taken aback mm-hmm. that he was allowed to leave Bermuda. Mm-hmm. Sir, but let's rewind back to, remember Cop Match?
Yeah.
That incident a few years ago?
Are we talking about the streak or the two people having sex behind the store?
Two people having sex behind. What came of that? I feel like he left the island as well.
Good point. I mean, that was definitely indecent exposure. Yeah, you know what? I've heard some people say, well, no one pressed charges. For indecent exposure, if the police have the evidence, can they not make it? You don't need someone to press charges if you have the evidence. You may need visitors to confirm, not visitors, witnesses, sorry, to confirm that the incident took place when it did, because obviously video could be taken at any time. But can't the police? I mean, I'm not a police officer, and I definitely I'm not a lawyer, legal expert, or a legislator, but I'm pretty sure they can make an arrest without someone pressing charges, right?
Yeah. Why would someone need to press charges? But Jamal, let's look at also the disrespect to the vendor. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, so our vendors are in this space. They're there providing a service. And did you see? I felt so sorry for her. She didn't know. Yep. She didn't want to touch them. She didn't want. She's like swinging a clipboard. You know, it was disrespectful to the vendor. So my question is to the rugby. How are we protecting our own? Yes, I get it. You're bringing these people to Bermuda. You feel as if they're spending money. It's heads and beds and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. But we can't sell ourselves out at any price.
Yeah. And that's, again, what can we learn from this? Are we going to hold everyone that comes to the island accountable for their actions as ignorance to the law and excuse? I'm just going to read from the Royal Gazette so people have an idea of what we're speaking about. So a Lions legend player has left the island after an alleged indecent exposure incident at the World Rugby Classic on Saturday evening. Organizers of the international sporting event have also acknowledged they are aware of social media posts alleging that visitors use offensive and racist language at a hotel. A widely shared video clip appears to show the indecent exposure incident during the international sporting event at the Northfield National Sports Center in Devonshire. John Kane, the president of the tournament, which remains underway, said that he found out about the video on Sunday evening and intended to ban the player from the tournament. He said he received an email from Alan Martin, the Lions manager, before he had the chance to do so, informing him that the player had already been sent home. Mr. Kane since confirmed that he has been expelled from the tournament. Now, I'm not into rugby. I don't know if you know the rules, but again, this is not new. In terms of them coming here and behaving in a certain way. I do wonder, going back to what you said, Sancha, do they receive a booklet of conduct? Right? Do they like? I want to speak to the sponsors, those who have supported this kind of stuff. Right? If I came to you today, all of those sponsors, and I said, look, we've got this drum line coming to Bermuda. I'm sorry, Sancha. I'm just using it because
that's fine.
We have this drum line coming to Bermuda of 500 college students and bands and whatnot. And we were asking for the same amount of money as rugby. It's been proven that you wouldn't give it to me.
No.
To us.
Jamal, I asked for this money yearly to try to do drumline again, and it's not given.
But and why is my question?
My thing is, which one of or are any of these sponsors going to pull their sponsorship?
There you go.
Are they, or is it? I've heard many people say, "Oh, it was just all in good fun."
Yeah, oh yeah, they said that.
But a black man can't walk down the street if he's a tourist. He can't walk through on Front Street with his shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
A police officer would go and ask him to put his shirt on because that's illegal.
Man, I've seen dudes got arrested for peeing in the trees. Legit. Indecent exposure. Let's go to the audience. Audience, what can we learn from the alleged rugby incidents? Like, what are your thoughts? Because I'll tell you, I was working on the airport, in 2099, as a baggage handler, and I'll never forget a guy getting off the plane, and we were putting the bags on the belt, and he must have stuck his head outside, and he was drunk, calling us all this. I was so young and dumb, and I was just laughing like, oh, he was just drunk having fun. But apparently he must have been inside mouthing off to customs and whoever as well. Well, basically, that same person was on that plane that he arrived on going back to the United States because he must have used some language that was not appropriate in there. Racist language. Now, I said this on this show. I say it many times. Words, I'm not bothered by words. It's the actions. Donald Trump didn't bother me like he bothered most people because at the end of the day, I cared more about the legislation and the policies that he was pushing. That's just me. But what I'm not going to do is tell other people how to feel. If language bothers them, then we need to fix it. I would love to see a sponsor or two speak up. I would love to hear, Traveling Trotty, she's saying, do you think the team will issue an apology as well? Go ahead, Sean.
Friday, we're on Tuesday. It should have been an apology Monday morning.
Mm-hmm. And as far as an apology, again, I'm different. I want change behavior, but I also want to hear from the sponsors.
Yeah.
I think the Bermudian people need to put pressure on the sponsors. And I'm going to pick on one sponsor I know because I'm pretty sure the Bermuda Tourism Authority sponsors them, right? That's taxpayers' money, right?
Pretty sure.
So every last person that's tuned into this show should be asking the questions of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, no? People, see where I'm going with this? Somebody makes a great point. Sherry, she says the level of disrespect to our community is crazy. He wouldn't have left if he was in Dubai.
Oh, wow. No. Oh, no.
You see how certain places, when you go, you better act accordingly.
You go there with the respect and you know what's expected of you. And they hold themselves to a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're not going to go in their backyard doing foolishness because
Mhm.
there are repercussions for your actions.
Yeah.
But here, we can just, let's sweep it under the carpet real quick, put them on a plane, and get rid of the problem.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Sam Cat Place says, I don't know what we can learn. I'm just still disgusted. B. Denise Holler says, he would lose his job as well if he was a black man. Yeah. Sherry Vanderpool says, we have been selling ourselves out for years when it comes to this yearly event. The number of things they're able to get away with year after year is unbelievable and unacceptable. And she's right. But you know what? I've always been that person that's been like, when people would say, oh, a black event, they do this, rugby gets away with that. And I would be that person. Guys, stop using rugby to do bad things. Like, okay, the rugby players got away with this, but it's still, but they're right. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, these lots wrong. They're right. And I've always wanted these kind of events to happen for Bermuda. Bermuda needs them. But not if they can't respect the center. Sorry, go ahead.
I also feel that Bermuda would choose them when we want to be conservative, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we're so conservative when it comes to certain events. It's like, oh, we don't do that in Bermuda. The noise levels, so you can't play loud music, but you can flash people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting, Sancha? I think when it comes to rugby, people often ask, and this question, I'll just go to Terry Kay. She says, it's been a while, folks. Not sure if it was mentioned earlier, but I'd be interested to see what the Rugby Classic does for our economy. And you know why this is interesting? Because just the other day, there was this report. I don't know, one of the companies released this report about the economic impact from the golf events, and Maya shared that on her. They've done it for the sailing events and so on. I think it's only fair, especially if the Bermuda Tourism Authority is a sponsor, that her question is legit. What does it do for the economy?
I would love
comparatively speaking. And like with all these players coming, how much money is actually coming in? Mm-hmm. I'd love to know that. I think that's a valid question. Let's go back to the audience. So Sam Cat, please, says, Santa, we is overdue for another drum line.
I know. I feel like we're overdue. I'm working on it, guys. I am. I promise.
Yeah. Sean DeShields makes another great point. His actions were not really a great example for potential young rugby players. I know rugby has been a way out for some young Bermudians as well. And that's a valid point. I mean, it's not even the fact that they would have been there live to see it, but being shared around, right?
So I don't know a lot about rugby. I admittedly, and I don't want to sound ignorant, but isn't this behavior like a stigma of a rugby player? Like whenever you hear, and I could be wrong. I feel like I am generalizing, right?
Yeah.
But sorry, a lot of times it's like a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, a lot of, I don't know, but it's unacceptable.
Your point. I think I think it's more or less this rugby event has always been surrounded with these kind of things, right? That's the point you're making. It's always like this drinking thing. There's been incidents over the years throughout Bermuda when it takes place. And I think, we have to figure out as a country what we want, what we're willing to accept. I think the organizers, the sponsors, the government have to create a space where if people are going to come to Bermuda, they respect the laws and policies, the culture, and the people.
But Jamal, we haven't even touched on the words, the slurs. Mm-hmm. We haven't touched on that. And it's like, I mean, what do you do about that? You know what I mean? I feel as if, okay, they've come to a country, they're showing you that they don't respect you. And it's almost like we can't do anything for them. They're just here enjoying this time that they're being paid to be here during this time. And they really don't want us or what we have to offer or what, we bring to the table.
I'm afraid to say, but maybe part of the booklet when they're traveling to Bermuda, they need to let them know There are black people in Bermuda that don't go by the N-word. I mean, something has to be done, but I think we need to hear from the sponsors. We need to hear from them.
I don't even understand why they would end up at Cocoa Reef at that event. And like, who took them there? Why are we?
They were staying at a hotel.
So the event that they used this word, they went to a private party that was up at Cocoa Reef. It was a private party. You weren't invited. The N people did not want you there either. So why are you showing up?
Let me change the subject. Sandra's calling names of properties.
I did not call anyone a name.
No, you called the name of Cookery. Let me hold on.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Yeah, I just want to put that disclaimer for
publicly listed. It has been publicly listed.
Okay. I look. Yeah.
Sorry. But it has been publicly listed. It was a private event. I wanted to go to that event, but I fell asleep.
So basically, I thought they were staying there. Okay, cool. Let me go through these comments and then we bring Maya in. Don't forget, we got Akira Robinson coming on the show, folks. So real quickly, Suzanne Ingham says, what indecent exposure, racial slurs? No. They should have been put in their place immediately. Checkmate, off the island, you go, bye-bye. Terry K says, is this a tourism event we want? We have to determine what we are willing to accept and be consistent. Again, right now, we're traveling to places, they have really strict laws. Singapore, places in the Middle East. We're not going to these places and disrespecting cultures. We're going there understanding what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. Certain places in the world, you can't, if you're not married, you can't stay in the same hotel room. You know, these are spaces that if you don't abide by their rules and their laws, things happen. Sonia Clark says, Jamel, hell, all sponsors should shared responsibility of this ignorant outcome. The focus on tourism undermines the level of support from sponsors, period. That's their brand backing this craziness. Terry K says, our economy isn't sustained enough outside of tourism for our culture to be respected. When you think of the reports of what happens in the Middle East, if you break the rules, you pay the price. No, we're not respected. We're absolutely not respected. Gary Marino, thank you for this, Gary. I'll just put it aside because it's taken up space. But he says a formal complaint is needed in this instance in order that you have someone who is going to give evidence if and when a suspect is charged. No one has so far come forward to do that in this instance. Without a complaint, the guy can easily argue he was in a private location tent with consenting adults and someone filmed him without his knowledge and put the video out there. Then it's his word against the word of a police officer who was not present. You know what I appreciate? Thank you, Gary, for that. Because I figured it was a public space. The police do not need someone to file a complaint. This now changes my opinion a bit, Sandra. I'm going to let you go. I'm sorry, Maya. Sorry, Akira, we're coming. We'll make a plan.
Listen.
What concerns me about this, though, there were people there. There were people there.
It was okay. I get the tent was a private space, but it was within a public event. Or are we saying that the rugby is a private event? And let me switch it up a little bit. Is it okay if we have, let's say, this is far-fetched, if we hire strippers to strip under this tent and are like, it's a private event, is that okay?
Well,
can we do that?
I think, you know what, folks, this convo can go on. I'll say this much. No, I'm gonna say this. Traveling pretty much said, yeah, maybe the people there did not mind or know the law to file a complaint. That's our response to Gary. I'll say this much. There's lessons in this. And some of the lessons in this is, as a community, we need to decide what we want, what is needed, and what we're going to tolerate as we try to dig ourselves out of a hole so deep that we're willing to set aside our morals for the almighty dollar. let's bring in Maya Palacio for the Daily Hour news break. Again, I just want to state to everyone tuned in, on this show today or going forward, we will not be discussing the Marco Warren case due to the delicate nature of it. And we're not going to continue that conversation outside of what Maya Palacio reports during her Daily Hour news break. The other thing I just want to say before we bring Maya in for the Daily Hour news break, if you have not filled out our survey, please do so while you're tuned into the Daily Hour news break. The information that you provide for us is helpful as we move forward and evolve on the Daily Hour. So please take a minute. 22 questions won't take you longer than 10 minutes. Fill out that survey for us. Help us retrieve information that's going to help us help you help our community. Without further ado, let's bring in Maya Palacio for the Daily Hour news break. And after that, we have Akira Robinson. AKAs are in the his house. Any AKAs in the building? Show us some love.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, MP. How are you?
Good morning.
It's been a couple of hours, put it that way. Yeah.
You know, I want to say this before we get into the Daily Hour news break. So yesterday was a heavy day for our community. And in our Daily Hour chat, it was heavy. So I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning and I said, I can't send this. I had a joke. I haven't done my joke of the day recently. So I said, I want to get everybody in a, little jokey joke mood. So I wrote to the Daily Hour chat. I said, hold on, because Shara is so childish. Sorry, guys, I'm just watching, looking at my phone if you sent text. So I said the joke. I said this morning, what do lawyers wear to court? Can anybody tell me, what do lawyers wear to court? Nobody? You don't want to? What do lawyers wear to court? The answer. Wait for it. Lawsuits. Lawsuits. Get it? Lawsuits.
Listen, I saw this and I was just like, I'm not even answering.
Well, you guys don't.
I saw it too and decided I'm not answering either.
Yeah.
My attempt to lighten the mood didn't work, folks. It didn't work. But yeah, I mean, it is lawsuits unless you have lawyers that are wearing those orange jumpsuits, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, we're not going there. Maya, did you want to comment on the alleged rugby incident at all?
No, I won't comment on it. It is in my news break, so maybe I'll add a little bit of something more than what we've already talked about. But we'll see. It might be a little one or two things, but you guys touched on it really heavy, so I think you got most of the points out there as well. But good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour news break brought to you by the amazing people at People's Pharmacy. Starting out the news this morning with the news that I think the whole island's talking about right now is the fact that the Bermuda Police Service can confirm that a 48-year-old male has been arrested in relation to the investigation into the death of Mr. Marco Warren. The suspect was arrested yesterday morning upon what they said that he turned himself in at the Hamilton police station after being contacted by the investigators. A court appearance is anticipated in due course, and no further information has been provided at this time. Now, Detective Inspector Jason Smith, who led the investigation into this matter, said, quote, I wish to thank those members of the public who have supported the investigative team by providing information which assisted us in making this arrest. However, the investigation into the death of Mr. Marco Warren remains ongoing, and members of the public with any information on this matter are again asked to make contact with us, end quote. Once again, anyone with information is asked to contact Detective Inspector Smith on 717-0864. Or again, there is still the confidential number from the family there, 707-1636. 707-1636, and the email there as well provided to contact the family for confidentiality.
Yeah, I just want to say this, that, whatever the outcome is, Marco's unfortunately not coming back, but my hope is that the result of this brings the family peace.
Now, I do want to mention that there was a lot of speculation going on the Instagrams and Twitter and everything about the case, and I have reached out to some individuals to obtain a little bit more answers. So I will keep you updated once or if I receive responses. Now, in other news, yesterday morning, police announced that the investigation continues into the act of the indecent exposure which occurred at the National Sports Center over the weekend at the Rugby Classic. Now, this is not the video, but this is a screenshot of the individual right here. Now, Bermuda Police Service is appealing for anyone who witnessed the incident or who has any information or what transpired to contact Acting Detective Superintendent Sharon Joseph at 717-2158. There has been no formal report of this incident made to the police. Again, that's what Gary just told us as well. However, the matter is being progressed. We are interested in speaking with anyone who may have been at the tent where the incident occurred and who would have recorded what happened. We are particularly interested in speaking with the female seen in the video posted on social media attempting to stop the actions of the male suspect. Now, in a report from the Gazette, as you may have heard Jamal say earlier, that they had actually put out saying that John Kane, the president of the tournament, which remains underway, said that he found out about the video on Sunday evening and intended to ban the player from the tournament. He said he received an email from Alan Martin, who is the Lions manager, before he had the chance to do so, informing him that the player had already been sent home. Mr. Kane has since confirmed that the player has been expelled from the tournament, and Mr. Martin told the Royal Gazette that the player in question left on his own accord, and Mr. Martin downplayed the incident as, quote, an overreaction.
I just don't know. I'm going to quote Sancha. I don't know who we're targeting. I think this comes back to what Sancha always says regarding tourism. We almost don't know who we're targeting, so we're willing to accept every and anything. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, in closing from that case, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Antoine Daniel, stated that, quote, this matter is being treated with the same level of seriousness as all acts of indecent exposure in any public place. While police officers were in the general vicinity of where the incident occurred, it was not brought to their attention. That notwithstanding, immediately upon learning of the incident, investigation was commenced.
I want to say this one more thing. Suzanne Ingram says, "What overreaction that is unacceptable." What I'm not going to do is tell people how to feel. Like, if someone feels this is a serious issue, who am I to tell them it's not? I may deem something else more serious, right? That's me. But I think we need to respect what each other deems disrespectful or serious, because when we start doing that, we're focusing on fighting each other while somebody's getting on a plane and leaving the jurisdiction without consequence for their actions.
Yeah. In other news, some wider news, this one's for the creators of the island, but the Bermuda National Gallery is inviting all Bermudian artists and artists living in Bermuda to submit work to the 2024 Bermuda Biennial. The exhibition has been showcasing the best of Bermuda art for over 3 decades, and they will be judged by Chicago-based Jamaican multimedia artist Ebony G. Patterson and New York City-based artist, fair director Helen Toomer. They welcome a variation of submissions, and the submissions will be closing on January the 2nd of 2024. If you wish to submit, definitely reach out to City Hall. Any artist of any age can submit any variation of any type of work that they create.
I'm just loving all the art stuff in the news as of late, ain't you? Mute, Sancha.
I was going to say that I don't know if you guys remember when you said Maya on the 30th, it's the last day. I actually took myself. Actually, no, I didn't take myself. Jesse and I went together to the art gallery and saw all the different displays. It was amazing. So I'm happy I did that, and I'm looking forward to all of this great art.
Yes. And I didn't check myself, but I know Troika is, someone did mention on the show yesterday that they have their last show today, Tuesday. So I don't know if there's any tickets left, but if you haven't seen the show, definitely go out. It's probably sold out. Yeah, probably sold out. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing show.
Get there.
Definitely. Okay, and coming up next, not a news break this morning, close up very quickly, but the Premier did have his throne speech yesterday just to provide further detail, and the ministers will be speaking. Sorry?
He had his throne speech yesterday, you said?
Well, he had a press statement kind of detailing more of the throne speech. Yes. And so there was a live press conference there, and the ministers will be coming out one by one, talking about each and everything that they have in the speech. And I will be interviewing some of the ministers, so I'll be showcasing that on the show here as well. And most likely they'll be live as well on my Instagram page. Now, in our sports-related news, closing out, Leilani Nesbitt and her Florida State ACC championships have won their ACC tournament championships, making them, again, the second time in the program's history that Florida State has won 4 straight conference tournament championships.
Congratulations to her, man. She's doing some things. So congrats to Leilani Nesbitt.
Yes, and her team. And the weather today, early cloud with a chance of showers giving way, but it should be sunnier later in the day. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that. But we've got a high of 75 degrees.
All righty, Sancha, what you got for days of the year?
Today is International Merlot Day.
Like the wine Merlot?
Yeah, Merlot.
Okay.
Yeah. So go have a glass of wine. Do you drink Merlot, Maya?
Mm-mm.
You don't?
Yeah, I drink non-alcoholic Merlot. I do.
I like Merlot. So
yeah, is it a dry wine?
Yeah, but do you see my lipstick?
Oh, it's Merlot. Okay.
Red. Yeah, I don't like a red.
That's funny. She just did essentially.
It's like, no.
I like the red lipstick. I don't like red wine.
Yes. So my lipstick is in honor of Merlot Day.
Okay. Merlot Day, folks. Hey, we always say be responsible. All right. You're gonna have that glass of Merlot. You know what to do.
It's good for the heart.
That's what they keep telling me. Maybe I should. Nah, it's been too long. Maya, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna take a quick break, folks. Do not go anywhere. We've got you know what? This is Sancha's kind of conversation. Women's entrepreneur vendor market. Women entrepreneurs. I want to know what kind of businesses are going to be there. So we got to get out support it. So let's check it out after this break, see what the AKAs are up to. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere. And fill out the survey if you haven't already.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild. But shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Else.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Ready, welcome back to the big show. Sancha Durham, I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. And again, if you haven't already, please fill out the survey. That feedback is helpful. I just want to touch on this before we bring our guests in. You know, this is how they talk about me. I knew his joke was boring and dry, and then Sancha responding, yeah, Sherry, I was not giving him that energy this morning. I did find it funny though, right? See, I mean, folks, I'm trying to get him started early, but you know, I got Sancha to laugh. She found it funny. See, anyway, let's bring our guest in for the day. We've got Akira Robinson. I know Akira found my joke funny. You think she found my joke funny?
Absolutely not.
Right. Let's give her a warm TDH welcome anyway. She's coming on from the AKAs. We're going to be talking about their upcoming Women's Entrepreneur Vendors Market. So give her a warm TDH welcome, folks. All right.
You know, every sorority, they greet in a different way. How do the AKA, how do you guys greet each other? Humor me today.
We typically ski.
Ski.
It's a very high pitched noise. So I'm not going to do it right now.
So the pink and green ski wee, like something. I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to do that. I'm sorry. I take that back.
I will tell you, I did laugh at your joke, though.
There you go.
You got another one.
That makes me happy. Well, good morning. Welcome to the show. Thank you for your patience. We appreciate having you in the house, and I know we do have some AKAs in the crowd, so hopefully they'll still be friendly with me after this conversation. But just tell us a bit about the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Bermuda chapter.
Sure. Well, first off, good morning. Just wanted to thank you both for having me. My name is Akira Robinson. I am a member of the Sigma Xi Omega chapter here in Bermuda of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I guess just a quick little history background for those that don't know. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated was founded back in 1908. We were the first Greek letter organization, college collegiate women that, came together during a time when, Black women, Black people in general just were not afforded all sorts of opportunities. There was a time of change of them trying to make a difference. We then chartered a local chapter here in Bermuda in 1990. So we have been around for about 33 years.
33 years.
So you said that you have a local chapter here in Bermuda, and I've been seeing recently where people are able to become a part of the sorority. They're able to pledge.
Yeah.
So in Bermuda?
Yeah, she can. So, there's two options. You can join as a member during undergrad, which I did at the University of Tampa, or you can join the graduate chapter, which is the chapter that I'm a part of now.
Okay. So what is the women's entrepreneur vendor market about?
So typically what happens is every 4 years, we as a local chapter here in Bermuda, we filter through to, I guess, the bigger umbrella, AKA worldwide. And we have a certain administration that follows different programs and activities that we try to put on, one of which is to promote women entrepreneurs. So we, as the Sigma Xi Omega chapter, thought, why not have a vendor market and be able to showcase women's local businesses, promote their businesses, and, just give them an outlet to help try to grow their business and market whatever services or products that they might offer.
So what kind of vendors should we expect to see at the market?
Sure. So we have a wide variety. Honestly, a little bit of everything. We have Serenity Scents. She sells candles. Touche, they're located in town. They have accessories. Modestique, they have clothing. RSP Creation, handmade crafts. Pull My Hair, hair products. Zen Crystals, who sells crystals. Inclusive Identity, she sells clothing, marketed for, I think, people with special needs. Tassel, which is earrings. A lot of other potential vendors we have: Umami Spice, Vim and Vanas, JSTK, which is clothing, TC Bermuda, which is tea, sacred, faith-based products, La Petite Soiree, which has Bermuda journals and different stationery, La Vela Collection, which sells candles and room spray, Cookies by Cross, and Island Soil Pottery, handcraft, like bowls and mugs. And I will put this out there: if there is anyone who is still interested and they want to vend, you can reach out to us. Our email is akabermuda1908@gmail.com. It is late notice, but I would say if you could reach out to us today, tomorrow, we could catch you sorted, because the more the merrier.
You actually mentioned a few vendors that it's pretty cool, because you'll see them on Instagram. They post here and there, like, you can buy, you can purchase, but I never know where to go and purchase these things. So I'm excited that you're doing something like this, that I can actually be present to say I can purchase these things. But why is this important? How do you feel like it's going to benefit the vendors and the public?
Sure. So, I mean, for us, we're typically thinking of different vendors that, exactly like you say, it might have social media presence, but not an actual storefront. And what companies like that tend to do is, they might have a drop of the product every now and then, and it could be costly for them, or even just inefficient to have to go out and deliver their products, all around Bermuda. This way, what we're doing as a chapter, we are covering the venue fee. So I didn't even mention the event is going to be on City Hall lawn this Saturday from 12 to 4, weather permitting. So really hoping for good weather. If there is bad weather, we do predict that we will postpone the event in advance. But we are going to cover the venue fee, and the vendors will just pay a vending fee. Part will go directly to the corporation, and a part will go directly to our fundraising program. So we're not collecting any money for this. It's just our way of really trying to promote local businesses, local women businesses, and help to promote them and help them, the businesses, to thrive.
Yeah. Audience, if you have any questions or comments, please send them through. But this is that thing where I always say empowerment over charity. This is empowerment. It's not charity. It's not giving people something and next year, again, they're going to need that same little penny from you, but you're giving them an opportunity to help themselves. So I appreciate, you doing something like this that's giving entrepreneurs another chance, because as Sancha said, you may go somewhere and purchase something and you're like, well, where can I find this person again? So it's helpful. Just remind people again, before you head out, when it takes place, where it takes place, and where they can learn more about the event.
Sure. So the event will take place on the City Hall lawn this Saturday, November 11th, from 12 to 4. We will have a variety of vendors. Sorry. I also didn't mention JB's Pizza will be there. So if you're hungry, come stop by, get some lunch. We will also be selling raffle tickets. Raffles will only be $2, no change. Some of the raffles that we will have raffles from Touche, Mystiques, Lush, ER Fisheries, the Sugar Layup if you have a sweet tooth. Cross Court Academy will be giving out an hour for a pickleball lesson. Pink Lotus, Sade Milan, and Nails by Keely.
Alrighty.
Nice. This is an awesome lead up to Women's Entrepreneurship Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is this month.
Absolutely. And I just want to say one thing to wrap up. I mentioned earlier that the vendors, part of their fee is going to go to our fundraising program. Mm-hmm. All money that we raise from the raffles will also go to our fundraising program. Right now, we're focused on 2 youth programs right now. One, which is CHIP, which stands for Childhood Hunger Initiative Power Pack. Mm-hmm. And what we're doing with that is really just trying to get little bags of little snacks that children can take home on the weekend for children who, might not be as fortunate to have, home cooked meals all the time or snacks in the house. And the other program that we have is what we call YLI, which is a Youth Leadership Institute. We did it last year for the first time. We worked along with Family Center, Beyond Yoga, and Delwood. So just really trying to empower our youth, give them leadership skills, bonding, and trying to help support families and young people who might be in need.
Indeed. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's awesome. And Traveling Trotty, she adds, AKA is the first, I think she means Black bank owned and operated by Black women. So I believe, and you guys created a bank or something. I think the grammar right there has got me messed up, but I got saw it on LinkedIn a couple months ago. But thank you for this, and to all the AKs out there, we need more opportunities like this for women entrepreneurs in general to make a way as they enter that space. So appreciate it. Saturday, City Hall lawn. Get there. Yep. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Akira, and all the best going forward.
You can find more information on our Instagram account, which is Bermuda_AKAs, AKAS, or we are also on Facebook if you type in Sigma Xi Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
All righty. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, folks. Akira Robinson, if you appreciated today's discussion and conversations, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues. This is where the community conversations take place. Don't go anywhere. We'll take our final break, come back. We'll wrap it up, give our final thoughts on today's chat. And it's daily playtime. I don't have a question yet, so hopefully it's a long break.
Ordering from ER Fisheries has just gotten simpler. With just a few clicks of a button, you can place an order for next day delivery or same day pickup. Our ever-expanding list of offerings now include grocery pantry items, specialty meats, and bread and dairy items. We know things have been hard, and we're here to make planning for your next meal or party easy. Whether you're a vegetarian or a meat eater, we have what you're looking for. And best of all, it can be delivered to your door in 24 hours or less. Go to www.erfisheries.bm and check out our wide range of seafood, beef, lamb, pork, poultry, fruits, vegetables, and plant-based products, all available at reasonable prices. That's www.erfisheries.bm.
All right. Thanks again to Akira Robinson and the AKAs stopping by for a conversation about their upcoming event taking place on Saturday at the City Hall lawn. Thanks again. If you appreciated the conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share it with your family, friends, colleagues. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we're able to have these conversations on a daily basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. New edition will be released this month, Volume 2. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sancha, are you ready?
Let's have it.
All righty, here we go. In what decade was Michael Jackson born? What'd you say?
In the 50s?
I was just gonna say, man, she's doing that VHS math in her head, like, yeah, 1950. So we're born in 58.
You know that was actually a easy one because Maddox is my son Maddox is the biggest Michael Jackson fan ever. All
right. Oh yeah, she got it. The audience thing got it. They would guess in 1960 or something, but yeah, he was born in the 50s, 1958 to be exact. All right. Final thoughts on today's discussion about the rugby and sponsors and all that, and then obviously the conversation with Akira from the AKAs.
So I learned today, my biggest takeaway, that the law doesn't always make sense to all, and what may seem as straightforward and just typical, like we feel like this is an easy thing, why wouldn't you just go and arrest them and charge them? It obviously doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. We have to take that into consideration. But also, with that being said, we need to set our standards, and we need to step back for a second and really ask ourselves, like I say, who are we targeting? What is our brand? Who are we? Mm-hmm. And if we are a place that we want to lower our standards and just be a feel-good, fun place, we have to bring everything else that comes along with that, right? If we are going to say we say luxury, right? Luxury destination, which we are not. We don't strike people in luxury destinations. So we have to make up our mind who we are, what we want to be and what direction we're going in moving forward. I am so looking forward to, I won't be here, but I'm going to send someone for a list of what I want for the Women's Entrepreneur Vendor event this weekend. I think it's a great space for women to come together and just showcase what we have to offer. I mean, it hasn't always been this way, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. So, as far as the discussion, I said all I said earlier. I think we need to make a decision as to the moral barometer. What are we willing to allow for the almighty dollar? And I think the general public, if you have an issue with something that's taken place in a space like the rugby event, then put pressure on the sponsors. Again, the one sponsor that you have a say in is the Bermuda Tourism Authority, right? Because majority of their funding comes from the taxpayer. I say that not to really start trouble or instigate, but at the end of the day, someone has to be held accountable for, indecent acts like that. So my hope would be that there are statements from sponsors. There's consequences. We as a Black entrepreneur, as Black people who put on events, we know what it takes to get sponsors. It's that much harder for us. And we have a moral barometer. So it's fascinating to see the amount of money that gets dumped into those spaces and what they're allowed to do, the leash that they have. It's concerning. It should concern all of us. As far as the event the AKAs are putting on, brilliant. More of this, please. And I really do hope that people get out to support it. You've got some daily inspiration for us?
I do, and our daily inspiration is brought to you by ER Fisheries. Every woman's success should be another inspiration to another. We're strongest when we cheer each other on. And that's by Serena Williams.
Love that one. Applicable. Folks, it's time to say it, but please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Make sure you fill out that survey. If you haven't already, please fill out the survey. We'll share it one more time, but please fill out the survey. Just 10 minutes, 22 questions real quickly. It's going to help us help you as we move forward. So please fill out the survey. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Centra Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.